Hello and welcome, I'm Saffron from Healing Womanhood, and in this video we are talking about making room at the table for anger, which might seem like a really strange thing. You might be thinking, well, I don't want to be angry, I don't want to be carrying this around with me all the time. But in our journey of healing from trauma, the anger is an important part of it. It's not something that we want to hold on to forever, that's absolutely true, but it's something that we need to feel fully so that we can move through it. And often people are really keen to skip to forgiveness straight away, and it doesn't stick. If you haven't moved through your true emotions, which often can be anger, then it doesn't stick. And often if we have trauma that we haven't realised is trauma, say you're in an abusive relationship and you don't realise that what's going on isn't okay until sometimes it can be years later. The anger can come up years later, and then you start getting cross with yourself for feeling angry about something that happened so long ago. But you still need to experience those feelings, move through those feelings so that you can free yourself and move on. So we're going to do some EFT just now to give that anger a bit of space and allow it its voice, and we will work towards moving through it and out of it at the end of the video. If you're not there, that's okay. You might need to give this anger a voice for a bit longer or a lot longer, and that's absolutely okay. It happens for all of us in our own time and at our own pace, and there may be extra bits of healing from trauma that come up in the future that bring the anger back up again, and we just do the same gentle process again. We just make room for that anger, find out what it wants to tell us, what it wants us to know, and what it needs from us, and then it will calm down. That's the nature of things, because that anger is probably like a frightened child, often like a frightened child or younger person, and it just needs to be looked after. So let's do that now. So we'll begin tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I have this furious anger, and I really wish I was rid of it, that's okay. I accept I have these conflicting feelings, and I love and accept me anyway. Even though I haven't even managed to connect with my anger yet. And I'd really rather just skip that bit and go straight to forgiveness. That's okay. And I'm okay. And I choose to feel safe anyway. Even though I have this anger, and part of me knows I need to process it, and part of me wants to run a mile and get away from that anger. That's okay. And I love and accept all of these parts exactly as they are. And moving to the point. I have this anger. It's crying out to be heard. Part of me doesn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this anger. I don't want to hear this anger. But this anger really wants to be heard. And I wonder if there's any way that I can make room for it now. Any way that I could give it some space at the table. That feels really hard to do. I've got all of this resistance to giving that anger a voice. And that's okay. I'm ready to work through that resistance now. I'm ready to start thinking about setting it aside. Maybe I'm ready to ask this anger what it wants to tell me. What is it that I need to know? It's time for you to have a voice, anger. I'm listening. And just tap silently for a moment and allow the anger to voice its feelings. Give you its perspective. Noticing how that anger looks. Does it have a shape and a body of its own? Is its appearance changing as it has the opportunity to voice its thoughts? Just allowing its space to be there and noticing. I'm listening to you, anger. I'm creating space for you. You are a valid feeling, and there will always be space for you in my life. And that doesn't mean that you get to run my life. I will listen to you along with my other feelings. I'm ready to stop shutting you out. I'm ready to make friends with you. I'm ready to learn what you have to teach me. And maybe I'll return another day. The next time you shout me. The next time you cry for my attention. I'll be back here to listen to you. And for now, it's time for me to set you aside so that I can get on with my life. Notice what the anger wants now. Is there somewhere comfortable you can leave it? Would it like to come with you along the rest of your day and watch quietly? Listening to the anger's needs and allowing it room. And also letting it know that you're moving through and that you're healing. Healing this anger now. Healing this old trauma. Allowing myself these feelings. Allowing them as much room as they need. And you might find that the anger wants you to shout and scream, hit a pillow, run really fast, do some kind of physical activity. And this is your opportunity to find safe ways of doing that. And if you can't do it right now, think about when you can do it in the next week. When can you allow this anger the expression that it needs? And how can you do that? Just allowing the anger to be there for as long as it needs. Because when the anger is allowed to be there, eventually it will fade. Allowing myself all of my feelings now. Giving myself the time and space to experience and express them. Letting go of any need to get rid of them. Allowing and accepting. This is okay for me. This is safe for me. And I'll know for myself when it's time to move on. Trusting myself to have that knowledge. Trusting myself to move on when the time is right. Trusting myself to experience my emotions. To allow them to flow through me. To take any blockages out of their way. Finding the courage to do this now. Trusting myself and moving through. Deep breath. So that may have felt like quite an intense one. It may be a really good idea to have a support person available. If you're working with me directly and you want to send me a message about that, then please do that. If you want to connect with our community on Facebook, there is room for you there to do that. And if you've got support people in your own life that can help you, then that's really, really useful. I don't often post videos to YouTube that go this deep, and that's for a very good reason, that I want to be able to provide proper support. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by big feelings that you don't feel safe processing on your own. But I think this one will be manageable, and I'm really trusting you to let me know if you need some support, or let someone know if you need some support. It's really, really important to take responsibility for your well-being in that way. And that being said, I really hope that it helped, and I would love to hear about your experiences with it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.